Here we go, and you know it's Tippler Talk Tuesday. All right, folks, what we're going to talk about today. Well, whether it gets boring or not, there's something always the pigeon mumble about. I'm going to tell you, I want to talk about weather. So, when you look at Florida weather, it's constantly changing. Some days are good, some days are bad. And what I mean by that is you can have 5 days of beautiful, warm days, and all of a sudden, the next day, it's so cold that Floridians can't handle it. I, for one, am one of them. You know, you have your pros and cons about both weathers. You know, there's a lot of things you can and can't do in hot or cold weather. But I'll tell you, on this Tippler Talk Tuesday, I'm going to talk about 3 things that affects the pigeons here in Florida. 1, respiratory. The biggest one, the biggest problem known to all the pigeon fanciers down here is respiratory. With high humidity, high wetness, dampness, when it rains a lot, birds have a difficult time staying healthy with the respiratory. Second, we deal with there's a lot of flies. Now I'm not talking about pigeon flies. Some fanciers will never get rid of that because they don't keep a clean loft. They don't treat properly. I've never had a problem with pigeon flies here. But I do have a problem with your regular house fly. House flies are everywhere here in Florida. Warm climate. You go to a restaurant. You go in your backyard. If you're having a barbecue, they show up. You don't have to have pigeons or pets to have house flies. All you have to have is an environment, heat, a breeding ground, and you'll have house flies. So that's the other thing that I don't like about the warm weather is the house flies. High humidity and house flies. Because you can keep the lofts clean, but you'll still have the house flies. If you have dogs in the, and they go poop in the yard, you'll have house flies. So they're everywhere. The third part of this is mosquitoes. Mosquitoes, on the other hand, you don't have that problem in the winter. They're not breeding. But you could bet, come summer, small little rainstorm, and you have standing water, they will produce and breed like you wouldn't believe. And the next thing you know, within so many days, you have a backyard full of mosquitoes. And that's a problem. So, when it's hot and humid, high humidity, house flies, and mosquitoes. When it's cool, you don't have those problems. Birds stay nice and healthy, no respiratory problems, you don't have no flies, house flies that is, and you don't have no mosquitoes. You can go out to the backyard and look at your loft at night. The birds are resting, they're not fidgety, they're not scratching, they're not moving around. That's what mosquitoes do. Mosquitoes will keep a bird up at night, and the very next day when you go to fly those pigeons, they don't perform. They're wore out. They have no energy. They've been up all night. That's like you trying to get some sleep and being interrupted within an 8-hour sleep, being interrupted and getting up 6, 7, 8 times a night, or maybe even more. You cannot rest. You won't get the well-rested sleep that you need. Well, just like the pigeons, they don't get enough rest. So this shit's going nowhere if we don't share this information, and we do it smart. We do it in a way that everyone learns, everyone can benefit. So for this Tippler Talk Tuesday, what am I talking about? I'm talking about weather, hot versus cold. I'm pointing out a few things on what's good about the cold weather, what's good about the hot weather. What's good about the hot weather? Well, for one, breeding. You can breed as much as you want as early as you want. The only problem here in Florida, come summertime, you don't want to breed in July and August because of the mosquitoes. You know, mosquitoes are everywhere, and unless you have a real enclosed area where they cannot get bitten by a mosquito and transfer the pox virus from one bird to the next, you'll have that problem in the summer. But the nice thing about the summer, or here in Florida, the warm climate, you can see the pigeons fly all year round, have no problems. Versus up north, when it's cold, no one wants to hang outside and watch pigeons fly when it's freezing cold. There's no enjoyment in that, I'm sure. Maybe the first 15 minutes, after that, you're done. So, folks, for this Tip of Talk Tuesday, I'm going to enjoy my birds. I'm looking at them. I'm looking at the babies, going through them, seeing what pairs are on the second round of eggs, and taking inventory. So till next time, I'm going to enjoy this cigar. I'm going to say peace. And remember, I never claim to be the best. I try to perfect the game in my loft, the pigeon game, and I hope that others can do the same. And we are all in this together. Till next time, like always, please like, share, subscribe, and hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell. Share the videos. Peace.